Are you a big fan of conspiracy theories? Well, today we're going to be checking out one of the conspiracy theories that I have about Stardew Valley. There's a lot of conspiracy theories in Stardew Valley. First of all, who is the wizard's daughter? Secondly, is Gunther a ghost? And there's a lot more going on as well. But one such conspiracy theory recently caught my eye. And that was, while I was making the Haunted Chocolatier news video, I thought what I would want to see in Stardew Valley 1.6 basically. And one of the things that I would really like to see, and I think you would as well, and that is the children that we have in our family in Stardew Valley to grow up. But as I was thinking about that, and I started thinking about what could be stopping Concerned Ape into implementing that. And then I got back to the starting of the game basically. The scene where Grandpa is lying in the bed. Our Grandpa passes and he leaves a will that we can open up when we're ready basically. And after X amount of years pass, we finally decide to open up the letter and move to Stardew Valley basically. But the thing is, if you remember, there was a picture of Evelyn on the fireplace at Grandpa's place. And he died basically, but he was good friends with Louis. And Louis is well kicking in Stardew Valley. So it got me thinking, like, when we move into the valley, we see Louis, George, Evelyn. They're quite old, it's okay. But they're quite active and like vibrant for their age. Unlike when we see the first time our grandpa on the bed. And at that moment, you won't think much about that. As you play on, you'll notice a lot of strange things happening into the valley. Magic is real, there's a wizard in the Cindersap forest, there's like a lot of like mythical creatures going around the world of Stardew Valley, there's monsters, there's Adventurers Guild. But you worked at a company, like you worked at Joja. Either supernatural beings are an everyday occurrence in that empire, or something's wrong with the valley where you moved. And it gets weirder and weirder as we progress further into the game. As you know, time passes into 4 seasons, and basically the game is set up that you can play for years and years without end. You can set up a family there into the valley and just live out your life there. But what if, and hear me out, like, what if everyone in the valley, basically everyone in Pelican Town, is an immortal? I know, like, it's a pretty strange theory that I came up with, but it got me thinking, like, your grandpa died in his house, not on the farm, basically, like in your family home. But when you go to the farm, everyone's pretty active, everyone's alive, and you live there year upon year and no one's aging. Like, I know, like, everyone, it's a game, that's the moment that it's set up so you can play, like, to no end. But what if it was a story? By that standard, something's pretty weird in the valley. The moment you can find out about this is when you have kids on your own. Basically, your children will reach a certain age and they won't age further. And the same goes for the villagers. No one ages even if you spent like 100 years basically in the game. So it got me thinking, like, okay, no one ages. Doesn't anyone find it weird, basically someone from the outside? But with people that come there, basically don't know the villagers maybe. Either everyone in the world is immortal, or only the villagers and they're using magic to keep it a secret. We have a wizard for that, we have talking bears, we have a talking mice even. So it's not that strange for that to happen. The thing that made me consider this is the moment we saw the talking bear. Basically our character was frightened from the bear, because outside he hasn't seen any talking animals. So I think that outside the valley there's nothing like that. And that's why I think he was afraid in the Cindersap forest, in the secret woods basically, in the cutscene with the honey. And I think going by this theory, like, we're gonna reach a dark end. Basically our grandpa died because he left the farm. But why did he leave the farm in the first place? Either he was sick and tired of the immortal life and he wanted to spend the last moments with his family, or something else entirely. Because we can see his ghost with Mr. Key. So he's still on the farm somehow, in one way or another. And I think, like, our character also stopped aging the moment we moved there. That's why our grandpa is still there, well, basically his spirit. He wants to watch over us a bit, and also to see if we're like regretting that choice. And I think you also mentioned, like for example, Leah that moved from the big city to the Pelican town. But what if that is a cover-up basically? Her house is quite old, and like as you can see, she's also blended in with the villagers so much. What if the whole thing is also just one cover-up? The spouse that you get basically knows that they're immortal, and due to magic or something, like their love, you stop seeing anything else. Basically, you're not leaving the valley. You're only in the valley all the time. And maybe you're gonna lose track of time. You're not gonna notice that decades have passed since you moved there. And that may sound quite scary when you think about it though. I don't think anyone outside Stardew Valley, like basically the Pelican town, is immortal, since you yourself are the clear clue. You managed to grow up to that certain age and then move to the farm. So we can clearly see that people outside the valley age. But on the second side, like let's think about, like for example, Sebastian, Sam, everyone else in the valley that's grown up. Like they managed to grow up, but how if they're immortal? My thoughts about this is that they use some kind of a ritual on people that are of age or coming of age, so they grow up magically. Another dark point that I have to mention is your parents' letters basically. I know they're set up that you'll receive like a letter from your parents after you reach a certain amount of gold. But after the last letter, which is the fourth one, they don't write to you anymore. And why is that? Why don't we get the occasional letter from our parents, like saying we're okay or something else like that? But when you think about it, imagine that you've spent like around 100, 200 years on your save file. Like they won't be alive anymore in their town. But you wouldn't know that. You don't leave the valley. You're living your life only into the valley. You can't leave. It's like you're trapped, but at the same time, you're living your life to the fullest. So that's like a big, how can I say, contradiction, but it's still something quite dark. So I think that Pelican Town is hiding a big mystery, which is they're all immortal. Our grandpa died because he left the farm because he was sick of the life there, and everyone else continued living without him. Basically, Lewis knew him, Evelyn knew him, everyone knew him. And going to the present, basically we are stuck or trapped in that farm now. Basically we are immortal, and going by this, like we won't be able to leave the valley. And why would we? Our life is there, we have a wife, we have children, we have our friends. But truthfully, everything's a lie. Run. Okay everyone, I think it's enough from the dark side though. Like that's my conspiracy theory on the immortal village basically. And what do you think? Do you find this theory plausible though? This was mostly made due to the children not aging, and hopefully we'll see something like that in the 1.6 update. I know it's quite hard, but hopefully, you never know what could happen though. I quite enjoyed making this video though, and if you enjoyed it as well, please consider leaving a like on it, and also consider subscribing to my channel, since it truly helps me out a lot. For everyone else like wanting to support me even further, there's a Patreon that I have and also YouTube membership, so please consider joining there. But in any case, I hope you all have a great day and I will see you all in my next one. But till then, stay safe.